The one where Joey can't remember which sister is a brilliant Friends episode. I know I say that about most of them, but it really is. This is the 11th episode of the third season. It's directed by Terry Hughes, and there will be spoilers from this point on as I talk about various aspects of the episode that I enjoyed and go through various plot points. So, spoilers from now. And the main part of the narrative focuses on the fact that Chandler gets drunk, makes out with one of Joey's sisters, and he can't remember which sister. And Joey finds out about this, but Joey doesn't know that Chandler can't remember. And Chandler has no idea what to do about this. And we get some really great scenes with Joey and his sisters and their grandmother. And it's great to get to know Joey's family and to learn more about him and where he comes from and what his background's like and what his family is like. And I think it's a nice little insight into more about Joey that we don't normally get to know. Of course, the way Chandler responded to the situation I thought was fantastic. Very, very believable and very convincing. And I rather enjoyed that part of the narrative. And it worked really, really well. Then we have Mark. Now, Mark is a character who I quite like. Mark is played by Stephen Eckholdt. And Rachel meets Mark at the diner. And I have to say, having the diner as a location is quite interesting. We're obviously there because Monica works there, but it almost feels like we're cheating on Central Perk. And I feel like we should be in Central Perk. But it is a good setting. I like the space. It's quite bright. It feels quite open, whereas Central Perk is feeling a little bit more busy. It's a much busier environment, but it works very well as a location. And Rachel meets Mark, who, as we know, gets her a chance to work at Bloomingdale's. And this is a great turning point for two key parts of Friends. One is Rachel. I feel like Rachel's had a lot of turning points over the last few episodes, and this one is a really great chance for her to finally do something she wants to do. But it's also a turning point for her relationship with Ross. At the beginning of the season, the end of the previous season, Ross and Rachel were up in the air. Who knew what was going to happen with them? And now things seem to have settled down a bit. But with the arrival of Mark, Ross becomes very jealous. And I can't say any more than that, as I won't spoil future episodes, but I will say there are exciting things to come on that front. And the last part of the narrative involves Phoebe and the noisy neighbour upstairs, and we can hear the neighbour walking on the floor upstairs. Phoebe goes up to try and confront him and ends up starting a relationship. And we have some pretty funny scenes that are definitely padding to fill out the narrative surrounding the main parts of the plot. But even as padding, though, it works quite well, and we can hear Phoebe and this neighbour through the ceiling, and then things take an interesting turn, and it has a pretty decent way to end the episode. So, all things considered, the one where Chandler can't remember which sister is a brilliant episode. It's funny, it's engaging. We have some interesting development for Rachel, and as I said, there are exciting things to come, some pretty great iconic moments coming up over the next few episodes. And I'm pretty sure this is one episode, as is the case with most, that I will always really thoroughly enjoy.